Are you ready to have your website get found by the right people? Are you looking to rank at the top of Google so you get more traffic to your website? Are you ready to learn how to use SEO and content marketing to grow your organic traffic? If so, you are in the right place, my friend. Welcome to the Simple SEO Content Podcast. Hi, and welcome back to the Simple SEO Podcast. I am Rachel Lindhagen, and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. And I want to talk about something really fun, exciting, and juicy that I don't think entrepreneurs necessarily realize that SEO, search engine optimization, can do for them. So we're going to vary today's lesson a little bit compared to what we normally talk about because I want to make sure that you're aware one of the best benefits of having SEO on your website, your blog, your podcast, etc. Because when you have an SEO funnel, you can have a business that works without you being there and being every single moment. Does that sound good to anyone? Because it sure does sound good to me. So when we have an SEO funnel, meaning we're creating content that's optimized for our audience, we have worked with Google so that our website is SEO friendly. People are going to be searching for products, services, help, information related to our business 24/7. They do it around the clock. But it doesn't mean that we have to be there at our desks or at our computers 24/7 to help them. It means that our websites are able to do it for us. And by having great information on our website that is optimized for Google, then Google's more likely to show it to people when they're interested in the information. And then we hope they do. My favorite thing to hear from someone is, I fell into your website and I went straight down the rabbit hole and oh my gosh, everything I needed to know was there. That's what we really want. And that's what can happen because having that great website that's optimized, it's easy to find on Google, you've got content that people are looking for, that's going to help you get found on Google and it's going to drive traffic to your website, whether you're sitting there at your computer or not. And the best part is if you have your conversion and everything set up and you've got products or services, they can book a call. You can actually get leads and sales while you're doing other things. And one of my favorite parts of SEO is it can really help reduce your dependence on social media. I have been very honest with you guys. I have a love-hate relationship with social media. I am not the most active on it. I'm actually contemplating just going to like the 9 grid on Instagram where here's some of my best tips, here's what you need to know. And I don't do it on a regular basis because to me, it feels like a massive time suck. Anyone else feel like social media is just an absolute massive time suck and you don't really get as much of a return from it as you do from SEO? I get a lot more out of the time I spend on my podcast, my blog, my email, my website than I ever have out of Instagram or Facebook. So I like not having to be as dependent on social, not having to feel like, oh my gosh, I've got to make sure I post because it's just draining. And I'll be honest, I don't want to spend 6 hours creating one reel. No, that's not going to happen. I am never going to be the champion of the most amazing reels. You're going to get a talking head because that's what I have time for. So if anybody else feels that way, I'm with you. It is not my favorite thing. But I want to kind of give you a real life example of how this can all work. So I know it's still summer for a lot of us, but it's August here. And in Arizona, it's the first week of school, you guys. I love my kid more than anything, but school started yesterday and he's back in session, new class, lots of friends, super happy. He loves school. I love that he's a curious, inquisitive, smart kiddo. And so he's excited to go to school. But I'm more excited because now I can kind of get back to my regular schedule. So this summer was an interesting test, and it was very much a test of my personal SEO sales funnel. And my personal SEO sales funnel did a really good job for me over the summer, and it allowed me to have the time freedom to spend most of my summer with him and to really set our schedule up in a way that worked amazingly well for us. So last year, he just is starting fourth grade now. The summer between second and third grade was our most difficult summer I've ever experienced. So I've always been a working mom. Like when he was first born, I went back to work 12 weeks later. I was still at the agency. My mom and my in-laws kept him for the first 6 to 8 weeks, and then we had a full-time nanny. He started Montessori preschool when he was about 1.5 years old. Like I've always had childcare. I don't know how, you mamas who have kids by your side all day, my goodness, I don't know how you do it with your businesses and everything else. My hat is off to you because I've always had childcare. And so we always do summer camps and we have fun and we take breaks. Like we have a nice break for a couple of weeks in the beginning of summer, and we take a nice break at the end of summer, and I take all the school holidays and breaks and stuff off with him. When we first moved to Tucson, the way the Montessori preschool here was, I took 6 weeks a year off with him. And I'll be honest, I've gotten really used to taking those 6 weeks a year off. They were awesome. And then we went into our summer program the year between second and third grade, and we were all signed up for camps, and we had our same normal 6 weeks off, and we had it all figured out. And so we were going to take 2 weeks off in May and 2 weeks off in August, and we were going to go all summer. And I think we were going to take 4th of July week off because we tend to, Arizona, just somewhere in July, the weather turns disgusting and we just want to escape. Like in reality, I'm recording this July 13th, super early because my house is quiet and I can get this done. And I want to make sure that I have the podcast for you when it's time and when I'm celebrating that school has started. So we just came out of the worst week of excessive heat warnings. Like we've been under excessive heat warnings for an entire week. It's been anywhere from 110 to 115, 18. Like it's just been disgusting. And so at some point every July that happens and we just try to escape and go to the mountains or do something. So anyway, last summer, he revolted. Like we were signed up, there was all these camps. He was so excited to go to them. And then we got to him and he's like, I don't like this one this year. I don't want to be at this one. This one's boring. Mom, can you pick me up at lunch? Mom, do I really have to go? And he fought him every day. And it was so incredibly stressful. And it was so frustrating because the year before, between first and second grade, he'd loved the camps and they were a lot of the same camps. And I remember tearing my hair out last summer because I planned on working over the summer and I was going to launch the class live and I was going to do all these things. And all of a sudden my childcare had basically fallen through. Not as bad as the pandemic. I remember what that was like, where we went for spring break and never came and didn't go back for months. But my childcare fell through last summer and it was very stressful. So going into this summer, I knew I needed to have a different plan. So I started really laying the foundation a few months in advance to make sure that my business could sustain with me on a very different schedule. So here the kids get 10 weeks of summer break. So we had crazy May, which is what I call it, just because life is absolutely insane for us in May. You'll probably never see me do a live class in the month of May just because there's so much going on with end of school year, my son's birthday, my husband's birthday, Mother's Day, all three of those fall the same week. Then we have all the end of the school year stuff. Then my kid is in drama, so we have the plays. This year, our big kid, my bonus daughter, graduated from college that same week. It was nuts. Everything calmed down. And then I left town to go to an amazing conference for female business owners, female entrepreneurs. And I was in Nashville for 5 days and came back and was ready to go and so excited and so energized. And I had my plan ready for what I was doing next. And by the time I got home, my kid was out of school for the summer. Okay. So sorry, fighting a summer cold. It was nuts. Anyway, he's out, he's home. I knew this going in. So I had 2 weeks off with him. And then I had him signed up for 2 weeks of camp with friends that I knew he was going to love, because one of them was the only camp that he really, truly loved last summer. Then he had 2 weeks off. Then we did 2 weeks of camp, another week, another theme of that one he truly loved, and then one through his drama class, 2 weeks off. So I knew coming into summer, I had 4 weeks of childcare and I had 6 weeks of camp mom, which meant I could not work as much as normal. But thankfully, because of having an SEO and content-based business, an organic-based business, I was able to continue to work very few hours on those weeks that he was home with me. I worked 2 hours a day at most. Because we're in Arizona, it's brutally hot in the afternoons. We went out and did all our stuff in the mornings. We came home at lunchtime. We had lunch together, and then he got his favorite time of the day, which was Roblox or YouTube time, while mom worked. And I worked each day for about 2 hours, so 10 hours a week for the majority of the summer. And my business kept chugging along because of all the work I did leading up to it. So over the course of the summer, more than 60% of my website traffic came in from SEO. It came in from the blog posts that I've written. It came in from people getting to know my name, getting to know the business, searching for it, all of that. More than 60% of the traffic. And looking at the sales, because I'm working a business the same as you are, you still need to make sales. 50% of the sales were passive sales. I did do a live launch. I'm sure you saw the invitations. I did do a live launch in June. It happened to be the week that I knew everything would be okay. He was going to be in his favorite camp. It was at our school. It was 5 minutes from the house. That was why it was that week. Probably not the best week. June is tough for everybody, but it was the one week I knew for sure things would be okay. So I did do that live launch. But over the course of the summer, the majority of my website traffic and revenue came from SEO, and it came in passively. It came in from an evergreen sales funnel. And that's what I want for you. I want you to understand that if you learn from me, if you let me teach you how to set this up for yourself, you can have the same thing. I have had sales come in. I've had students enroll in my course, which makes me smile. It makes me so happy. Like, you see the memes that say when you buy from a small business, they do a dance. It's true. Like, you do still get that little, eek, oh my gosh, somebody enrolled. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to get to know them and help them and learn about their business. I've had it happen when I was on vacation with my family. I've had it happen when I was chaperoning field trips at the school. I've had it happen when I was sitting at my desk working as well. But it's so exciting when it comes in unexpectedly, and it's because somebody listened to your podcast, or they read your blog, or they were Googling and they found your website and you were helpful and they went down their rabbit hole with your content. That's what I want for you. So what I did over the course of the summer, like I said, 6 out of the 10 weeks on summer break, I worked 10 hours a week. And then the other weeks I did work more, but I'll be honest, I did not work 40 hours a week, mostly because kids' summer camps run like 8 to 2. So I worked about 20 hours a week. I'm going into a really fun experiment. If you want to follow along and kind of ask questions or DM me on Instagram, you're welcome to. But I'm going to experiment over the fall now until we get to like holiday break. I'm going to test out 15 hours a week. I really am only focusing on my core content. I'm going to step back on social because, like I said, it doesn't really do much for me, and it's exhausting and a time suck. I am going to go a little more into Pinterest. I'm going to test that. I've been really digging into Pinterest SEO and how it works, and so I am going to test that. If you've listened to the podcast for a while, you know that last fall, my test was on podcast SEO, and that worked exceptionally well. And I do have the podcast SEO course coming out for you very soon. We're going to start teaching that because If you have a podcast now and you're not getting a lot of downloads, or you're not getting leads and traffic and things from it, we're going to talk about how we get it found and how we get more downloads, because my podcast is one of my favorite marketing channels, but it also is one of my best marketing channels. So I love that you're here. You listen. Let me know what you think. But would you like to learn how to put something like this together so that you're not tied to your desk and feeling like you've got to work all these hours? Like, I don't want to hustle. I don't want to do hustle culture. I don't want to work 2 or 3 jobs. I want to build a business that is sustainable, that fits into my life. And having had this summer be so much better than last summer, because I had my plan, I laid it out, I knew in advance what I was doing, and it worked. And I want to help you do the same thing. So I'm going to be teaching a live class next month. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure what I'm calling it yet. I'm working on all of that because naming is not always my strength. And so I have a couple entrepreneurial friends who are much more creative than I am, who are trying to help me figure out what we're going to call it right now. But I'm going to do a live class with you next month, where we will probably meet for 3 to 5 days. We'll have a little lesson each day. Right now, I'm thinking it's going to be the week of September 23rd, just looking at the schedule, because like I said, I'm a working mom, and looking at the schedule the week before that, well, let's see. My kid has half days on Thursday and Friday for conferences, because while your kids may just be starting back to school in September, we're already at the end of the quarter. So I won't be doing it. I for sure will not be doing it and stressing myself out the week of the 16th. And I feel like the week of the 9th is just too soon for anyone else whose kids just went back to school. So very likely it'll be the week of the 23rd. Stay tuned. If you're on the email list, you will get an invite to that. I want to make sure you join, because that is going to really help us lay the foundation to be able to do this in your business as well. If you're looking for a way to make more money and work fewer hours, this is the absolute key. I've been doing this for years, and I don't work full-time. I've never worked full-time hours since I've been on my own, because I've had other responsibilities and I wanted more freedom, more time freedom, and more flexibility in my life. I worked easily 40 to 60 hours a week every week in the corporate world for many years, and I don't want that grind anymore. So like I said, my goal for the fall, my test schedule is 15 hours a week, and to see where I land. And if you want tips on how to be more productive during your shortened schedule, all of that, I'm happy to share as well. I'm really good at that. My entrepreneurial friends generally say you get more work done in fewer hours than we ever do, and we don't understand what you're doing different. So I'm happy to share. I've got some tips on things like that on my blog as well. All right, that's it for today. I just want to make sure you understand the power, the impact that an SEO funnel can give you, and make sure that you're ready for that class when it comes up in September. If you want to get started right away, you're like, oh my gosh, Rachel, this is exactly what I need. I will never go through another summer like I just did, or that sounds amazing. I want to work 15 hours a week. Just do yourself a favor. Join Simple SEO Content right now. Let's get your SEO sales funnel going so that you can take the holiday break off, or you can look at the kids' schedule as it's coming out and be like, I am going to enjoy the whole summer. Or better than that, I'm going to take a week off while I got some childcare, and I'm going to relax, because I'm going to be real honest. That's my plan. So like I said, I'm recording this July 13th. My kiddo is in his last week of camp this coming week, and my husband has to travel for work. I'm going to have the house to myself. It's day camp. He'll still be home with me, but there's a reason I'm recording this on Saturday morning, because my house is really quiet, and I want to be able to take a few days off this coming week and do nothing and just relax before I go back into camp mom mode for the last couple weeks before school starts. And my friend, you can have that freedom and flexibility when you have an SEO sales funnel that is just sending traffic and leads and sales into your business, whether you're sitting there at your computer or not. So let's get that going for you as well. So if you're super ready, you're excited, just join Simple SEO Content now. Go to edge2marketing.com. If you haven't taken the free class, you can see that on the homepage right there at the top of the page. Get started today. If you're not quite sure and you want to make sure you take this live class with me where we're going to talk about creating that sales funnel and like how your SEO funnel can help, pencil it in. It's going to be the week of the 23rd of September. Not sure what the name is yet. I'll let you know as soon as I have all that squared away. If you're not on my email list yet, make sure you get the beginner's SEO guide or sign up for SEO 101. If you have either of those, you will be the first to know and the first to be able to enroll in that live class in September. And that first one is free because I want you to see the opportunity. I want you to kind of get a little more feel of my teaching style and all of that so you can make the decision if you're ready to join Simple SEO Content. I know it'll work for you because it works. I know it will, but I want you to feel confident in your decision. All right. Thanks so much for being here. I will see you back here next week. You have a great day. That's all for today's episode of the Simple SEO Content Podcast. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you visit my website, etchedmarketing.com, and visit the freebies tab. Right there, you're going to find the SEO Content Quick Start Guide along with the free SEO class. So you'll have everything you need to know to get started with SEO and content marketing. Then do me a favor, if you wouldn't mind, if you would do a rating and a review of this podcast on your favorite platform, that would really help spread the message, and I do greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions, you can always DM me on Instagram at Etched Marketing Academy, and I will see you right back here next week.